The first vocabulary word for lesson 13 is examine. Examine means to look at something very closely. I talked to you about Nate the Great and how he is a detective, and as a detective, he has to examine clues to help solve his cases. He has to take a very close look at clues. He has to examine them. One of the tools that he sometimes uses to examine a clue is called a magnifying glass. And if you look closely here, you will see a magnifying glass being used to look very closely at a dollar bill. It helps you to see the little details when you want to examine something. You can look at how small those little lines are. Those are all things that you can do with this magnifying glass. It helps you look or examine something. Something that you want to examine is something you're going to look at closely. If I give you a picture and I tell you that picture is a clue, it's going to be something that you want to examine or look at closely. Draw a picture of something you might examine with a magnifying glass. Maybe it's a tiny bug you find and you just want to see what it looks like up close. Maybe it's a fingerprint. Examine means to look closely. Draw a picture of something you might want to look closely at now. Our next vocabulary word is transform. To transform means to change from one thing to another. We talked about a couple of things this week that transformed, and one of those things is in our story. It is the butterfly. The butterfly doesn't start out as a butterfly. It actually is transformed or changes from caterpillar, which hatches from an egg, to chrysalis, and after 10 days it comes out of that chrysalis as a butterfly. It unfolds its wings, drinks some water and nectar, and then it flies. And then that butterfly will lay eggs and the cycle repeats, which is what we've learned about the life cycle of the butterfly. It transforms from egg to caterpillar to chrysalis to butterfly. Another thing that we have talked about this week as far as changing, a lot of you boys have a toy that transforms or changes from one thing to another. If you're familiar with Transformers, you know that they transform from robot to vehicles like cars and trucks. Sometimes they transform from vehicles like cars and trucks to robots. They change from one thing to another. Things that might transform that you're familiar with: water can transform when it gets cold, just like the rain that's been falling outside yesterday. If it transforms into ice, snow. It gets cold and changes because it freezes. To transform means to change from one thing to another. Think of a way you could transform something now. It might be freezing water in the refrigerator, in the freezer section to make ice. It might be transforming a robot into a car. It might be just transforming a piece of paper into an art project. Transforming means just to change. The next vocabulary word is devour. If you devour something, you are super hungry. You're going to eat it all up and not leave anything for the next person. You might even eat it so fast that you make yourself sick. I've got a couple of pictures I wanted to show you of somebody devouring something right now. This picture is of a little boy and he is devouring some watermelon. You can tell from the way he's eating that it must taste very good and he must be extremely hungry. Here is another picture of a little boy devouring some corn. You can tell by the way he's eating that corn and he's chomping it up that it must be nice, buttery, and taste extra good. He's devouring it. He's going to eat it all up. And in this last picture, I love this one. This little girl is all about to devour some ice cream. She's got a pretty serious look on her face. That ice cream must taste really good. She's going to devour it. She's going to eat it all up. She must be super hungry. Think of a time you were super hungry and you couldn't wait to devour something. Maybe it was a piece of pizza. Maybe it was tacos. Draw a picture of that time now. The next vocabulary word is astonishing. Astonishing ends with suffix ing, and the base word is to astonish. Digraph sh, short o, short I, consonant blend st. To astonish, or something that is astonishing, shocks you or surprises you. Think about your Christmas tree. Right now, most of you have a beautiful Christmas tree in your home. We have one here in our classroom as well. What would you do? What kind of face would you make if you came in and you saw a giant Christmas present wrapped up under the Christmas tree with a big bow on it just for you? Wasn't even Christmas yet, but you saw this big giant Christmas present wrapped up under the tree for you. The look on your face would be pure astonishment. You would be so shocked, so surprised, and probably pretty excited. It would be astonishing for you to just receive a special gift for Christmas without it even being time. Think of a time something has astonished you. Maybe you were given a surprise birthday present. Maybe you just got a present you really, really wanted and it made you so happy, but you were astonished when it happened. You couldn't believe it actually happened. Draw a picture of that now. Our next word is continue. To continue doing something means to keep doing it. If you continue to talk when Miss Raina or Miss Sanford ask you to be quiet, you're probably going to get in trouble. If you continue to run down the hallway if one of your teachers tells you to walk, you're probably going to get in trouble. If you continue to do things that you've been told not to do, you're going to get in trouble for it. Let's pretend that you're out on the playground here at school. And as you're playing on the playground, you're swinging on the swing set, some big clouds roll in. And you hear it thunder, and all of a sudden, it starts to sprinkle. And instead of getting off the swing and coming in, you continue to play. What do you think might happen? Once it starts to rain, you are most likely going to get very wet. You cannot keep playing when it's raining. You have to stop. If you continue, you're probably going to get soaked and all of your clothes will be soaking wet. To continue means to keep doing it. Think of a time you have continued to do something you were told not to do. What punishment did you get? Did you get a Class Dojo negative? Maybe you got a spanking at home. Maybe you had to sit in time out. Draw a picture of some time that you have continued to do something when you were told to stop. To doubt, our next and last vocabulary word, means you don't believe something. If you doubt someone, you do not think they are telling the truth. You do not believe them. If I told you that I could fly, you would probably doubt me. You would wonder if I was really crazy because you would know that that really couldn't possibly be true. It's just like if I told you that I have a dog and my dog came up on a lake one day. My dog was standing on the side, and he was looking at the lake, and instead of swimming across it, he jumped up in the air, sprouted some wings, and my dog flew across the lake and landed on the other side. You would probably doubt me because you know that dogs don't fly like birds. It's something that doesn't happen. Things that are fiction, not true, didn't happen, totally made up, are things that you would doubt. To doubt means you do not believe it. Think of a time someone has told you a story and you doubted it. You thought, there's no way that's true. They're making that up. Maybe it was a friend trying to tell you something silly had happened. Maybe it was your brother or sister trying to tell you just a lie. Think of a time you doubted someone and draw a picture of that now.